So we designed Slayers so that every mechanic can be intuitively figured out, but if you're like me, you'd like a little bit of guidance before you jump into your first game. So here's the 6 main things that you need to know before jumping in. The first mechanic is called focus attacks. This is basically blocking, but there's also a built-in launcher. You can cancel this in a whole bunch of different ways, and if your focus attack connects, then you can still cancel it. But if it whiffs, you're a bit punishable, so, be careful, or cancel it early to fake your opponent out. You can use focus attack on the ground or in the air, but if you use it in the air, you only get 1 chance per air time, so make sure you make it count. If it gets baited, you're pretty vulnerable. Next up is air dashing. This is a short little burst of movement that you get once per air time. You get this by holding a direction and pressing focus, or while you're holding focus in the air, pressing a direction. Either way works. This is a super important mechanic for repositioning yourself. Although it doesn't go far, the real utility of air dash is that you can cancel it into any attack. So you can use this on offense, defense, recovery, basically anything. But again, you only get 1 per air time, so use it wisely. So the third thing is that there are weak attacks and strong attacks. This is sort of a controls thing. Weak attacks are not always actually all that weak. Sometimes they're pretty strong kill moves, but generally they're more like normals in fighting games or tilt attacks in other platform fighters. Meanwhile, strong attacks are a bit more context sensitive. On the ground, these act like finishing moves usually, and in the air they tend to act more like special moves. So next up is the wall jump. This is pretty simple to do. If you're hugging a wall, just press away from the wall and you'll get a wall jump. This is a very, very, very important mechanic, especially for the slugger, who, without it, has a really hard time getting back to the stage, but with it, can kind of take its time getting back. The last 2 mechanics are both character specific. The first up is the Sluggers Baseball. Once the ball is out, you can attack it with any of your moves, and they all send the ball in different directions. The more you hit it, the further it goes, so it becomes harder and harder to juggle, but the trade-off is that after you've hit it a few times, it does more and more damage, so it becomes more and more devastating over time. You can imagine that this adds a lot of variety in how this character ends up getting played. And finally, we have the artist. She actually has 2 main mechanics. The first is that as she attacks, a lot of her attacks create works of art that she can activate either by hitting them or by activating them with her neutral strong attack. Each one does something different, so you'll have to test them all out yourself and figure out when each one is useful. The second mechanic that she has is her little ink trail that she creates wherever she goes. You can grind back along this ink trail by pressing forward strong, and while on it, you can jump off by pressing attack or jump or focus or basically anything you can do in the air. So you can use this offensively, defensively, you can go way deep off the stage, and yeah, that's the artist. Like I said, there's a lot more Easter egg type of mechanics in this game. You'll probably find most, if not all of them, just by playing, but now you have the fundamentals, so you can hop on in and genuinely be playing Slayers for Hire.